Ever since I got in jiu-jitsu, my altercations outside of the gym have been a lot less, to tell you the truth.
Honestly, sometimes after a long training session, I just want to train more. Jiu-jitsu is an addiction. To me, there's never enough jiu-jitsu.
I have a lot of energy in my body, so if I'm not burning it doing some kind of sport, other things seem to come about that aren't as productive, and for me, that's not a good thing. Sometimes trouble seems to find me when I'm not doing something productive.
I dream about winning jiu-jitsu matches. I wake up in the morning and I do a hip escape out of bed. So wake, sleeping, everything, jiu-jitsu is pretty much constantly on my mind.
You can have the worst day at work, or maybe you got a flat tire earlier, whatever. You can come in here, and even if you train for a half an hour, you're gonna leave with a smile.
They call it violent, but jiu-jitsu actually means gentle art. If you go and you see the black belt matches at the world competition, it's just a whole different level, and you actually get to see what the gentle art really, really means.
I first heard about jiu-jitsu when I was probably 12 years old. In my friend's basement, we got like the VHS of UFC 1, watching Hoist Gracie choke everybody out, and went in the backyard, started beating each other up and thinking how cool we were. When I first started training, I fell in love with jiu-jitsu instantly. Started training 6 days a week, got invited to go to like competition classes, started competing right away. That's pretty much all I cared about. As long as I had enough money to buy a sandwich after class and a place to keep a roof over my head, I was happy. And actually just 2 weeks after I got my purple belt, I found out I was having a child with my girlfriend, and really changed my life and made me think of jiu-jitsu more as a career path as opposed to just something I love doing. And that's like when I knew jiu-jitsu, there was no turning back.
When I first started training, I was 230 pounds. I've done baseball, I've done football, soccer. I've played pretty much any sport with the ball that you could think of, maybe even a puck. I got out of high school, done with playing high school sports, and I had no other alternatives to pursue my athletic career. So, yeah, I gained a bunch of weight, and jiu-jitsu found me, and that was kind of the beginning to this beautiful path that I'm in now.
I first heard about jiu-jitsu when I was about 17, I think, or maybe 18. Professor Rafael had moved here from Brazil, and he was a friend of mine. And every day when he first got here, he always used to tell me, man, you know, come try a class, come try a class, come try a class. And for about 6 months, I was like, no, man, no. I played other sports, you know, but a sport like jiu-jitsu was kind of intimidating to me at first. I was nervous to come in. I didn't know what to expect. You know, I had never really done anything like this. Somebody with no experience, you think, oh, I'm gonna come in here and these guys are gonna beat me up and stuff like that. Finally, one day, he's like, man, you know, you either go on your own, or we're gonna choke you out right now, and we're gonna put you in the car, and you're gonna go and you're gonna wake up there, and you're gonna be in your gi, and you're gonna have no choice but to do the class. So I said, okay, you know, let's go. And man, my first class, right after, I felt like I had been in a real fight. You know, I felt like the adrenaline. I was a little shaky and stuff like that, but it was a good feeling, you know. So ever since that day, man, I was like 100% into jiu-jitsu.
When I first started training jiu-jitsu, I had been wrestling in college, and wrestling I felt was the most superior thing on the planet. A wrestler could beat anybody in any sort of fight, and I was quickly humbled by it through the person who actually first started teaching me, choked me out, you know, repeatedly, and I was like, wow, this is really eye-opening. That someone can do this, and he's a lot smaller than me, and he had a smile on his face doing it.
Jiu-Jitsu is all about harmony of the physical and the mental. You can be the most in-shape person in the world, super athletic. If you don't have the technique, you're going to get smashed in Jiu-Jitsu.
Everything's got to work in harmony with each other. You don't have that connection between your mind, your body, and your spirit. Things are off. It's got to come in together, and you can see it totally when you've got guys on the mat and they're doing something totally, something else is going on. Something's not interacting right. But when you have that connection, it's really beautiful to see it come together for somebody.
I hope one day to own my own Gracie Barra school, be able to provide a good life for my family through Jiu-Jitsu, see my daughter come up in the classes, and maybe someday tie a black belt around her waist.
It definitely is true that the kids are the future, and that's what's gonna keep your school going.
Doesn't matter how strong you are, fat, skinny, anything, you can go in there, and if you have proper technique, you can take out anybody.
Jiu-Jitsu for everyone is more than just a slogan or a saying or something like that. It's something that's really true. Anybody can come in here and train.